I'm Luke, one of the founders of the Terracotta Herbs Company, and now that you have your herbs kit, I'm going to show you how to put it together so you can start growing those herbs and using them in your cooking. We've got the soil. So this is coconut coir made from coconut husks. And for that, we're going to need to reinflate them with water. I would recommend using a flat bowl for this. A Pyrex bowl is kind of perfect for it, really. So lay that out in front of you with the 3 coir discs. And you need about 250 milliliters of water per disc. So that's 750 mils for the 3 pots, assuming you're doing all 3. Straight in. Just make sure they're completely submerged. They kind of float in the water. Now we just need to leave these blocks for about an hour to absorb all of the water, by which time you should end up with this lovely coconutty soil that you can use to fill up the pots. Well, in the end I didn't have to wait an hour at all, but I've been breaking up the coir blocks in this bowl. You want to make sure it's broken up as much as possible and that the moisture's spread around, there's no dry bits. Now that my coir is nicely inflated, it's all rich and moist and broken up by hand, it now just needs one more thing, which is a little bit of fertilizer. Sprinkle that on. Now I'm going to mix it in again by hand. This will help the seeds grow. Right, that should be okay. Now, grab a spoon or some other implement and you can use it to fill up the pots. Okay, there we go. Now it's time to plant the seeds. I'm going to start with coriander. Coriander seeds are quite big, so they're pretty easy to plant. I'm placing them a distance away from each other. Next, I'm going to plant some parsley. Now, some of these seeds can be quite small, so I'm tipping them into my hand first to make sure they don't just fall into the soil separately, and that gives me a chance to make sure that I can spread them around in the soil individually. And what should we go for? Basil? That'll do. The peppermint seeds are especially small, so if you are using those, just be very careful. Sometimes customers think that we haven't actually sent them any peppermint seeds, but it's just because they're so tiny they get caught in the folds at the bottom of the packets. Basil's pretty small as well, you can just about see it. So I've got my seeds in the pots, and now I'm going to use a small amount of leftover coir to just cover them. Now, final step, can you remember which pots I planted which seed in? I can just about. Coriander, parsley and basil, I think it was. So we've got the tags here, the bamboo tags. Which ones do I need? Okay, parsley, that was this one. Basil over here, and coriander over here. Now, I'd recommend putting a little bit of water in the pots just to start off to make sure the soil is definitely moist enough. And now, as long as you water on a regular basis, you should be able to sit back and watch the herbs grow. Eventually, you'll end up with something like this.